What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video, and this is the month where Liverpool can trigger Timo Werner's £50 million release clause. So the clock is ticking. Liverpool have until the end of April to trigger that release clause, and even though there is a lot of uncertainty around football at the moment and we don't know when football will restart, and also we don't know what kind of economic effects this situation will have on even the biggest clubs like Liverpool. I expect the Premier League to continue at least in August or September behind closed doors, and I think that Liverpool, even if the transfer fees go down 50 or 40% by the time football resumes, I still think that for 50 million Timo Werner is an absolute bargain. He is just 24 years old, he just turned 24, and he is one of the biggest talents in world football. 27 goals in all competitions in 36 games. And John Aldridge, the Liverpool hero, reckons that Liverpool will sign Timo Werner and one other big name player when the transfer window opens. And we will also talk about what Timo Werner's teammate talked about or spoke about Timo Werner and his potential summer transfer move. And also we will have some interesting conversation where actually Harry Kane offered himself to other big Premier League clubs, saying that Harry Kane wants to move to another club if Tottenham aren't able to compete for silverware next season. So John Aldridge, a former Liverpool player and Liverpool hero, Liverpool legend, said that Liverpool will sign Timo Werner and another big player in the summer, and this is what he said. I think Liverpool fans can look forward to one or two big names in the transfer window this summer. Jurgen Klopp, like he has always done, has to look for players who are as good or better than he has. No squad padding this summer. So he doesn't expect Liverpool to sign a lot of squad players. And John Aldridge continued, up front is probably the big area. At the moment, behind that front three of Mane, Firmino and Salah, there is only Divock Origi and Takumi Minamino who are playing regularly. Liverpool will need another, but that one player has to be absolute top drawer. For me, there is only one who fits the bill perfectly. That player is Timo Werner all day long for me. Whenever I have seen him, he looks like the one player for Liverpool that would fit perfectly for the prices you hear quoted for players the likes of Kylian Mbappe and Jadon Sancho. In this climate, Werner seems the ideal option, and in my opinion, he's an absolute bargain. He costs less than half of what Jadon Sancho costs, and he scores even more goals than Sancho. And he would cost about 1/5 or 1/6 the price of Kylian Mbappe. That is also an absolute bargain in my opinion. And John Aldridge continued, where else is Klopp going to strengthen? He has Naby Keita and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in the attacking midfield area, so the squad is very settled at the minute. I would suggest another left back that can push Andy Robertson and a top centre forward like Timo Werner. Will he go out and get a world-class attacker? We will wait and see, but Liverpool have designs to win the lot now and to compete for every trophy that can be competed for. And Jurgen Klopp might do something that he has never done before: sign a player for a lot of money and sit him on the bench for some games. Because every time Liverpool in recent seasons signed a big name player for a lot of money, they were first team players who could come in straight away into the starting 11, maybe except Naby Keita. But the Jurgen Klopp hasn't signed a forward player for a lot of money and sit him on the bench for the first season. But that could happen to Timo Werner. I don't think Jurgen Klopp will change his trusted 4-3-3 formation for Timo Werner. Maybe in some of the smaller games, but I expect Liverpool to play that formation for the most games, actually, like the 80% of the games. And also, Timo Werner knows this. Timo Werner knows that he needs to improve, he needs to get better if he wants to get regular playing time, if he wants to get into Liverpool's starting 11 regularly. But the fact that Both Salah and Mane will miss a lot of next season because of the Africa Cup of Nations. Actually gives Timo Werner a lot of playing time in his first season. And Timo Werner himself said this, and I quote, "Yes, I know that Liverpool is the best team in the world in the moment, and when you are linked with that team, it makes me very proud. In case of that, it's a pleasure, but I know that in Liverpool a lot of good players play, and I have to improve myself to learn much more things to get on this level to play there. But every time I watch Timo Werner, he looks like he has what it takes to play for Liverpool. I mean, he scored 4 goals in 8 Champions League games already. He already played 29 games for the German national team. At just 23 years old, that's an incredibly high amount of games, and he also scored 11 goals. And his teammate, Timo Werner's teammate, Tyler Adams, when he was asked what is Werner's greatest strength, this is what he answered. That's hard to say just one thing. People are often focused not just on his goal-scoring ability, but how fast he is. And he's absolutely rapid. That's not one of his qualities, though, that sticks out the most. The quality that sticks out the most is how many ways he's able to score. He can score from the left, from the right, century. We played him as a number 10 and he was running out of the midfield and scoring goals. There's just so many roles you can fit him in all over the pitch, and that's what makes him such a unique player, such a unique piece of our team. If you are able to score in that many different ways, you will be able to play at the highest level for a really long time, for the biggest clubs in the world, for the national team, for Germany. He's a pleasure to play with. It makes it easy playing as a midfielder, knowing you can play the ball over the top and he will catch it no matter what. He is a great guy and a great player. I mean, wow, what a brilliant endorsement from his own teammate Tyler Adams. And also the Leipzig sporting director Markus Krösche told Sport 1 this in Germany: "We do not know how the transfer market is developing right now. We are looking into a very foggy glass bowl, if you like. We do not know what our resources are and what the other clubs have in terms of opportunities." So it's clear that even the biggest clubs in Germany will play a waiting game. I think that Liverpool should be on the front foot, at least with this Timo Werner transfer, because at 50 million it's an absolute bargain, and I don't think that in the summer, when Timo Werner's release clause expires and many clubs like Manchester United, Chelsea will be looking for a forward player, for a striker to sign, they will be interested in Timo Werner. And then the price could go up. And if Liverpool are sitting on their hands and not triggering this release clause right now, we are risking either losing Timo Werner to one of our biggest rivals, buying Timo Werner, but for more than 50 million. We could buy him for 60 or 70 million in the summer, because that will be his price at that time. And if we buy him now, it's a guaranteed 50 million, and it's a guarantee that Liverpool and Timo Werner are like a match. They just want each other. Jurgen Klopp is a big fan of him. Timo Werner is a huge fan of Liverpool, huge fan of Jurgen Klopp. Every time he was asked about Liverpool, he talked extensively about his love and admiration for this Liverpool team, for Jurgen Klopp. And as I said, the one thing that would not encourage Timo Werner to sign for Liverpool is the fact that we already have a settled front three, Salah, Mane and Firmino. But Timo Werner should think long term. Yes, next season he might be sitting on the bench for a lot of games, but in 2 years, in 3 years, one of the front three might leave, maybe even 2, and it's crucial that Liverpool don't have to replace all of that front three at the same time, because they are a very similar age, 27, 28 years old, Mane, Salah and Firmino. So we have to be very careful and sign their replacements maybe in consecutive years, and not having to face a situation where we don't have an awesome backup player and we have to replace Mane, Salah and Firmino all at once. That would be an absolute disaster for Liverpool, because you just can't do that. You can't sign 3 world-class players all in the same transfer window or all in 1 year. You have to sign them in consecutive years, and Timo Werner will be Liverpool's main number 9 striker in 2 or 3 years. I'm convinced of that. Either because he becomes a better player than Bobby Firmino, or either because Bobby Firmino decides to leave Liverpool when he is like 30 years old. Who knows what will happen? But I think that this is a huge opportunity for Liverpool to get a player who can score 20, 25, 30 goals a season in the future. To get him for just £50 million is an absolute bargain in my opinion. So go on Liverpool, just sign Timo Werner up. And the pundit Chris Sutton told Harry Kane that he should consider a Liverpool move if that move ever presented itself. I don't think Liverpool are interested in Harry Kane because he would cost around £150 million, and Tottenham would be very reluctant to sell to Liverpool. But I think that it makes sense on paper, but it doesn't make sense in reality. I mean, if we can sign Werner for 50 million, why would we go for Harry Kane for 150? Especially Liverpool fans, myself included. I don't really like Harry Kane as a player, as a person. And Harry Kane is looking to move. That's the reality. He was recently asked, will he retire at Tottenham? And he answered, he's not sure about that, because at the moment it looks like Tottenham doesn't have the ambition that Harry Kane has to go all in and all out to win as many trophies as possible. Tottenham are the nearly club, and Harry Kane wants to win trophies. He knows that footballers have short careers, and he said that if he cannot fulfill his ambitions at Tottenham, he will move elsewhere where he can win trophies. And this is what Sutton said. We all understand that Harry Kane wants to win something. So if he wants to win something, I wouldn't begrudge him a move. Spurs are a brilliant club, but at this moment in time, they are way behind the likes of Liverpool and Man City. If one of those clubs came in for him, if you were Harry Kane, you would be stupid not to move and not to go. I can understand the predicament he is in, but he wants to win. If he wants to win the Premier League, then he should move on and go to a club who have better chance of winning it than Tottenham has. And even Paul Merson, another expert working for Sky Sports, said that Harry Kane should move to another club. Paul Merson said this about Harry Kane: Harry Kane loves scoring goals. He wants to play for an attacking team, but I don't see that happening next season under Mourinho. Mourinho will make it tight, and he will start playing the way that made him one of the best managers of all time, and I think that's what Kane is weighing up. It's hard for Kane because the grass is always greener outside of Tottenham. He plays every week at Tottenham. If he goes 3 games without scoring, he plays the 4th game, no problem. If he goes to another club and he goes a few games without scoring, he might not play the next game. He has to weigh these types of things up. Tottenham was perfect for Kane under Pochettino. They played nice, free-flowing attacking football. They were nice to watch, but they didn't win anything. I hope that winning trophies is on Kane's mind. At the end of the day, these players earn enough to not work another day's worth. When their career is over, the money shouldn't come into it too much. You weigh your career up on how many medals you've got. It's all well and good having a big house with 17 toilets, but if you haven't won a medal, what does it mean? When Gary Neville's achievements come up at the bottom of the screen on Sky Sports, it doesn't say how much money he has, on how big his house is, how many bathrooms, how many cars he has. It says 8 Premier League titles, 3 FA Cups, 2 Champions Leagues. That's what it's all about. And Harry Kane also has to think whether he wants to become the top Premier League goal scorer of all time, according to Paul Merson. I don't see that happening if he stays at Tottenham under Mourinho. He's on 136 at the age of 26 with Alan Shearer on 2060. So he has more than 120 goals to go. He has to score at least 50 goals in the next 2 seasons to stand a chance of reaching that, because he isn't reaching those numbers in his 30s. Football isn't like that anymore. I don't see him doing that with Mourinho as manager. He needs to leave himself with an average of 10 to 15 goals a season in his early 30s. So if he wants to break the record, I think he needs to move on too. But that would have to be to a Premier League team, so there is a lot for Harry Kane to think about. And overall, you want to see Harry Kane winning trophies for his brilliance on the pitch. So this is the opinion of Paul Merson, and actually I fully agree with him. Harry Kane should move to another Premier League club. I think he would be perfect for a club like Manchester United or Chelsea. Liverpool play a different type of football, and I don't think that Harry Kane can play in the high pressing style that Jurgen Klopp likes to play, with the high intensity, and he would cost too much money anyway, and Liverpool are not interested in him anyway, so we shouldn't really talk about Harry Kane to Liverpool. I just wanted to mention it because of the Chris Sutton opinion piece. Emmanuel Petit, who was part of the Arsenal Invincibles, has actually stated the fact that many already know, that Liverpool, this current Liverpool team, is better and more impressive than Arsenal's Invincibles. I mean, Arsenal Invincibles went 49 games unbeaten. This Liverpool team went like 44 games unbeaten, so just short. We fell 5 games short, but we collected more points in these 44 games than Arsenal's Invincibles collected in the 49 games, which is absolutely crazy to me that in 5 less games this Liverpool team won more points. That's crazy. And Emmanuel Petit said, Liverpool have impressed me more than the Arsenal Invincibles, I have to be honest. When I look at this team, the motivation, the intensity, so many talented players, something is different with them. I have huge respect for my old teammates, but when I look at this Liverpool team and what they have been doing for the past 2 years, people are looking at them now because last year they won the Champions League trophy, but really they have been like this for the past 2 or 3 years. It's amazing what they are doing. It is rare to see a team winning so many games and being so dominant against their opponents all the time. They were both great teams in history, but for me, this Liverpool team have something special. It's hard to explain what I feel when I look at Liverpool right now, but I don't remember him thinking the same way when I was looking at the Invincibles. They have impressed me more than the Arsenal Invincibles. And the FA, the Premier League, and the EFL, the English Football League, has released a joint combined statement today regarding the return of football in the United Kingdom. It doesn't provide any brand new information, but it's still interesting to read. We are all committed to getting back to playing the game we love, but only when it is safe to do so. Amid the current uncertainty, supporters will understandably have a number of questions relating to the season and to the clubs they follow, but there are no quick answers to how and when we will return to what used to be our football normality. The Football Supporters Association, the Premier League, the EFL, the FA want to reiterate that clubs and their supporters have a vital role to play in supporting the government's guidance and ensuring community strength and solidarity. While there is no football, our sport can still play its part. So basically it's an update about no update, that we should just wait and see until this situation gets better, until this is over. And Andrew Townsend, who is a Crystal Palace player, also said, one way or another, this season has to finish. There's so much riding on it with sponsorship, TV money, players, contracts and bonuses. The fans have paid season tickets and subscriptions for Sky and BT and those sorts of things. So one way or another, the season has to finish, whether it's in May or June or later in September, October or whenever. It has to be finished, and I fully agree with Andrew Townsend. And let me know what do you think about all the things we talked about in the comments below, and thanks for watching guys. See you later. Goodbye.